Chapter 11. Turtle wasn't sure why he was so shocked. After all, wanting to become king of the Nightwing certainly fit in with everything else Darkstalker had done so far. But it still hadn't occurred to him. No tribe had ever had a king in the history of Pyria, as far as Turtle knew. He never could have imagined this scene, or how Queen Glory could suddenly look as though she was made of spun glass.
If he could be king, then I could be king too.
Where did that thought come from? Turtle would never want to be king in a million years, and he would never be able to do what it took to become one.
Even after what I did to Chameleon?
He frowned down at his twitching talons. That was not the real him. These thoughts were not the real him either. Moon broke away from her mother and started pushing forward through the crowd.
You can't do that!
Deathbringer spat at Darkstalker. Glory didn't stop him. She was staring at Darkstalker as though he'd upended 80 million words on her head, and she was trying to put them in the right order to make a scroll.
Why not?
Darkstalker asked.
For one thing, you're male.
Said Deathbringer.
And for another, you're not royalty, so you have no right to the throne.
In case you hadn't noticed, she's not exactly of royal Nightwing blood either.
Darkstalker said, flicking his tail at Glory.
And just because we've never had a king before doesn't mean we shouldn't have one now.
Pyria has only had queens for the entirety of dragon history,
said Deathbringer.
Male dragons cannot rule their tribes. That's just the way it is.
Things can change,
Darkstalker said airily.
We're dragons, not ants. We can do things differently if we choose to.
Turtle had a flash of déjà vu and touched his claws to his head. Where had he heard that before? From one of the teachers at Jade Mountain?
Darkstalker!
Moon hissed from the front of the crowd, and he looked down at her.
What are you doing? You promised not to hurt my friends.
Feel free to check on your friends,
said Darkstalker, in an unsettlingly gentle voice.
I'm sure you'll find that they're all safe and perfectly unharmed.
But Glory's my friend, too,
Moon said, her voice wobbling.
I don't want you to kill her.
Was that real sympathy in Darkstalker's eyes?
Oh, Moon,
he said.
The truth is, you don't want me to kill anybody. And neither do I. But we are dragons. There's a way these things have to be done.
I cannot accept your challenge,
Glory said, and Darkstalker turned back to her, leaving Moon with her talons helplessly outstretched.
The Rainwings need me too. If I fought you, I'd be putting their tribe and throne at risk.
Maybe I could be king of both tribes,
Darkstalker said.
Just a joke. I have no interest in ruling a bunch of snoozy, colorful vegetarians.
Turtle wasn't sure if he was imagining it, but he thought a few of the Nightwings actually looked a bit offended by that comment.
There's another alternative,
Darkstalker went on.
You could just give me the Nightwing throne.
He shot a glance at Moon.
That would not be fair to the dragons here who swore loyalty to me,
said Glory.
Well,
said Darkstalker.
Let's all remember that they had a volcano pointed at their heads at the time. You're certainly more appealing than death by lava, but if there were a charming, handsome, superpowered Nightwing as an option instead...
Queen Glory looked out at the gathered Nightwings.
What are they thinking?
Turtle wondered.
Would they rather be ruled by a Rainwing or by a legendary monster?
He remembered the stories he'd read about Albatross, the sea-wing animus who massacred most of his family. If Albatross somehow came back to life, and he acted like a sane, friendly dragon, and Turtle had to choose between him or, say, Queen Glacier to rule the Kingdom of the Sea, who would he pick?
Oh,
said Darkstalker, nodding at Glory.
Very interesting idea, Your Majesty.
Glory looked at him sharply.
Let the Nightwings choose for themselves,
he said.
Indeed, I could agree to that.
I haven't offered it to you yet,
said Glory.
In this time period, it's considered bad manners to read another dragon's thoughts.
My apologies, but you had such a good idea. A peaceful transition of power. Maybe dragons have evolved in the last 2,000 years after all. What do you think?
Darkstalker said to the assembled Nightwings.
Shall we put it to a vote, like some enormous, sprawling mess of a council? King Darkstalker or Queen Rainwing?
No,
Queen Glory said, stepping forward into a bar of sunlight that lit up every brilliant scale.
Not a vote. I don't want my any Nightwing to be forced to live somewhere or under someone they are unhappy with.
She studied the ebony dragons below her.
Those who wish to stay in the rainforest with me, in the village you've built with your own talons, are welcome here forever. Those who would rather follow Darkstalker to the Old Kingdom are free to go.
Darkstalker looked down at the crowd too, from a considerably greater distance, and he did not look pleased with what he saw, or what he was hearing in their minds, Turtle realized.
But you don't have to decide right now.
Darkstalker said quickly, slippery smooth.
You should get to know me first. I presume Queen Glory won't mind if I spend a day or two in the rainforest, reacquainting myself with my tribe.
Be our guest.
Glory rested her quiet gaze on him for a moment, just a moment, while something puzzled flickered behind her eyes. Then she turned to Deathbringer, and the two of them hopped down from the stage to walk among the Nightwings. A hubbub of voices arose, hushed and panicked at the same time. Who would stay? Who would go? What would become of them? Darkstalker's eyes went to Moon.
See?
He said softly.
I knew I wouldn't really have to kill Glory, but I had to present myself as a strong leader, Moon. That's what dragons understand.
Moon gave him a wounded look and turned away, back toward her mother's wings. Turtle watched Darkstalker, watching her go.
I think I found one true thing about Darkstalker.
He thought.
He actually cares about Moon. But how does she feel? She's the one who's been helping him so far. Will she follow him to the Night Kingdom? Or will she choose Queen Glory? And if she does, how is he going to react?
Queen Glory stayed in the Nightwing village until mid-afternoon, answering questions and talking with any dragon who approached her. Darkstalker installed himself on a flat boulder by the river and did the same, while Anemone splashed and swam in the fish-flickering water. It all seemed very peaceful, entirely open, nothing suspicious or underhanded. Turtle wrote a quick note on his slate to Ghibli.
Darkstalker wants to be Nightwing King. Nightwing's deciding what they want.
Then he wiped it clean and tried not to fall asleep while Darkstalker droned on about parliamentary procedures in the ancient Night Kingdom. But then Glory left, flying back to check on her rain wings. Darkstalker saw her go. He waited a few minutes, swirling his tail in the river as he listened to a sly-looking dragon named Obsidian complain about rainforest insects. Finally, Darkstalker said,
That does sound dreadful. You know, the Night Kingdom doesn't have any mosquitoes.
He sat up and called,
Mindreader.
Touching his head as though summoning her by telepathy as well. A few moments later, the dragonette came scampering through the village with an older, significantly more reluctant-looking Nightwing limping behind her.
Here!
She said breathlessly, skidding to a stop below Darkstalker.
Come on, Father. You have to meet him. He's got amazing powers.
So I hear.
Mindreader's father said gruffly.
But you don't understand that he's sharing them?
She said.
If you could have any power in the world, what would you want, Father?
He snorted.
To be an animus, of course. Is there anything more powerful?
Mindreader turned to Darkstalker with shining eyes, but Darkstalker was shaking his head with a regretful expression.
I'm sorry,
he said.
That is the one gift which is beyond my abilities to grant. An animus dragon cannot make other animus dragons.
Huh.
Thought Turtle. He knew that was a lie.
Does Darkstalker know he's lying? Or does he believe that?
That's not the only thing Father wants.
Mindreader said quickly.
I can hear it in his head. He wants the ability to heal instantly from any wound. Not just new wounds, but all the old aches and weak bones and clouded lungs he got from leaving on the volcano. Oh, Father, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were always in pain like that.
She twined her tail around his, and Turtle found himself liking her for the first time.
You're not supposed to know these things,
her father said with a wince.
I'm not sure it's going to be good for you, little one, hearing everyone's thoughts this way. Dragons like to keep their secrets.
I know! It's incredible how many secrets there are!
Mindreader said, her eyes widening.
If I was a blackmailing sort of dragon, I could get so much treasure. But I'm not. Of course I'm not. And I wouldn't.
She let out a little laugh.
Enough about me. Darkstalker?
I'm not sure about this,
said her father, edging away as Darkstalker reached toward him.
I don't trust anyone to put a spell on me.
So we'll use something temporary,
Darkstalker said winningly. He sliced a vine off the tree branch overhead and wove it into a simple loop, which he dropped over the other dragon's neck.
I'll enchant this to heal you, and when it rots away, come back and let me know if you liked it and want something more permanent.
He hooked one claw in the vine necklace and muttered something under his breath. Mindreader's father let out a startled gasp. He stretched his wings and a tail. He turned his head from side to side. He looked 40 years younger just from the way he was suddenly standing and the way his eyes were shining.
Oh,
He said,
3 moons! I couldn't even remember what it was like to feel this way.
I'm here to help.
said Darkstalker with his charming grin.
Now, go and tell all your friends.
Uh-oh.
Thought Turtle. Uh-oh was right. The first trickle of curious Nightwings became a waterfall once word spread that Darkstalker was handing out superpowers. The ability to catch any prey? Done. Flight speed faster than any Skywing, or indeed any other Dragon Imperia? Done. Camouflage scales like the Rain Wings. Darkstalker chuckled and talked that dragon out of his choice.
Why would you want to blur the lines of what you really are? Be a Nightwing, and proud of it. If I give you advanced warrior skills, you'll never need to hide again anyway.
Advanced warrior skills? Done. The ability to go for days without sleep? Done. And then Darkstalker announced that powering up 5 dragons per day was his limit.
But this way you can think about it overnight.
He said.
What do you each really want? What would be the best power for you? I promise you, I'll share my gift with 5 more dragons tomorrow. On the way to the Old Night Kingdom.
Wow.
Turtle thought.
He's not messing around. Follow me, and I'll make you special. Or stay here and remain your own ordinary self. What dragon could resist an offer like that? What chance does Glory have when that's the alternative?
He pulled out his slate and thought for a moment, then wrote to Ghibli.
The Nightwings are getting a king.